All right, Libra. I know it's uncomfortable right now. No matter where you're at, you're feeling the height of the discomfort. If you're uncomfortable because you're growing in your self-worth and you believe you're worthy and deserving, or you're in whatever way you're growing right now, I just want you to recognize something and stop and take a moment. It doesn't mean you have to make people, just because you're frustrated and just because you're uncomfortable, doesn't mean you have to make it harder for other people. Now, if you're being yourself and you know that you're triggering other people just by being yourself, that's not something you can control. Don't ever stop being. This is something that you've come and worked way too hard for, is being yourself without needing to worry about other people's opinions of you. Do that. Don't leak your discomfort into other people's lives just because you can't handle it right now. If you can't handle it right now, you need to figure out what can help you. What support do you have? What support do you need? What does self-care, self-love look like right now? That's what you need, and that's who you need. That's it. Just because you're going through it and you're going through a change, again, let me repeat, does not mean everyone around you needs to feel it all the time. Again, if you work with a lot of people, or if you live with people, or you have kids, they're going to feel it regardless because you're cardinal air. And I was telling Cancers a similar thing, so it might behoove you to watch their video, know what they're going through, because their vulnerability has been out there for a while, and now yours is changing too. Yours is out there. Yours is different. For some of you, you don't realize what you're doing is fucked up. For others of you, you know what you're doing, and you need to learn, and you need the tools, and you need the capability to hold it down. For some of you, this could be someone in your life that helps support you, who has come into your life. For some of you, might be a new love interest coming into your life, or a King of Cups that says, hey, I see, but I don't mind. I don't mind what you're going through. You're like, you sure? You sure? I'm warning you. Change. I'm warning you. Something's happening. They're like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I want to come in. So you let them come in. They change your whole life because you know where you were and you know who you are. And for a long time, or for a long time, if you're me, that's being a little too personal. You have been, if you've been stuck this month, even if it's on the Empress vibes, what's revealing to you is where you like to do things alone, where you think in certain moments that you may be better or you know better, but you're not alone anymore. Regardless if you're in a partnership or you're working with other people, you're not doing something alone, and that's something I had to talk to Cancers about either. Because of that, it's really important that you learn from your past mistakes. You learn from where you weren't in a place of where you didn't feel secure about yourself. Because there was a time, there have been times, or if this is a time for you where you don't feel so secure within yourself or about yourself, but you could probably take a moment and look back and say, oh, I've been in a similar situation as this, and the way that I handled it last time wasn't the way the me now would want to handle it. Even though I feel uncomfortable, even though I want to scream, go scream, go do your thing. Like, let yourself have that by yourself, or with someone who doesn't mind hearing you scream just because you need to scream. That's fine. Or if you need to let something out, go do it. Just don't turn that big dramatic moment in your personal life, just because that moment in this season, I know I cut myself off there, but let me go back. Aquarius season is extremely intelligent, and it has its things together, and it likes its boxes, and you like your boxes that you're comfortable in, but you also like to grow. You don't mind, but right now you're being pushed in a way where you're extremely uncomfortable. You get comfortable in certain places, but now for some of you, this person or the situation that's super supportive, exactly what you want, exactly what you need, and you feel like, and then in super Libra fashion, everything's calm. Why can't I relax? Why can't everything just be good? Well, for some of you, if it's not all good, I do want to say that you alone can only do what you need to do. So definitely just control what you can and learn, and where in the situation, whether it's your partnership or a job or even your home situation, whatever, or just like a life situation, if it's between people, aside from how you work and where you work in your intimate spaces, just know and really reiterate to yourself, even when you want to control something, know that there's just things you can't control. You can only control your response. You can only control what you decide to do next. You can only control your actions and everything like that. So right now, while everything is shaken up and shifted, and yet you feel like you may have felt in the dark with yourself, even because you're now revealing everything that you've been working on. It's now revealing more and more. And what you realize is that you are independent. You can handle things. You're so capable. But the way that you have gone about things, and the way that, as opposed to the way that you need to go about things now, looks different. It's important to be completely yourself. I don't want you to, I'm not suggesting, the cards are not suggesting that you hide yourself or you be someone different. Just know that the more that you come into yourself, and the more that you see yourself in people, and the more that people see you as this, again, you can threaten others. Even if you don't want to, even if that's not your intention, Libra, that's just what the fuck you do sometimes. So you have to remember who you are in these times and learn when it's important to tone up and when it's important to tone down. Because when you're feeling this way, you feel strong, you feel powerful, you feel intact, you feel all these things. And guess what? Not everybody's feeling that way. Especially in a time where there's a lot uncertain. Now, instead of shifting the way that you used to and coming from, lower self-esteem or needing to be liked or all of these things, you now realize you have power. You are powerful, extremely creative. You've become extremely compassionate, and you need to be like, if there's a Leo in your life, that may be someone that you look towards. But we'll get more about that in the second part. So the second part will be where I show you the cards, and that will be on Patreon in a link below. You're setting a solid foundation for yourself, and you're finally getting there, and you're finally doing it, and you're finally building things the way that you want to. You're finally doing all that you've wanted to do, and it's important. I don't know why this is so, but it's important that you recognize and realize that, if there's a Leo in your life who feels like they should have all the attention, or they should have this, or they should have that, even though you built it and you're doing all the things and you're the one who made the moves. Let me ask you something. Would it be wise to say, I told you so in one of these moments? Would it be wise to say, to up yourself on someone who just wants to get an ego boost from you? Or, yeah, I know, but I'm relaxed today, so we're just chilling. Or do you celebrate what you've been given? Let them get their, who cares? Just let it just slide off of you. Because you're getting what you want in the long run. You're working towards what you want and you're getting it. So if you're going to let these small situation affect your worth and who you and how you see yourself individually, it's not worth it anymore. And you know that from past situations. You know that from having to go through this a bunch of times. And what some of you, if you're watching for Libras, what you don't understand, it's a very layered, it's like integrating a whole new program into a field that's been existing for a long time. It's like teaching all old dogs new tricks. Let's just say it that. And unfortunately, there's many layers to that. If all of those layers are not on board, then things will look funky and it will not be it. So you have patience, but because you're ready or you want to do these things, you feel impatient, or because you are getting what you want, you can be lacking patience, and you can do that. So cardinal signs are really being asked to be more patient with certain things, because the thing that you're impatient about isn't working the way that you've worked it. It's not working in the way that it's been going for however long it's been going for. No matter the habit that it is, or if it's been easier for you to do this in this way, it's not working anymore. And it's really going, the long run, it's proven that. So there could be a Leo in your life or a person in your life that you want to work with, and it will work out very well. It will work out very well as long as everything's out there. It can become a very good thing. But for some of you, you're going to have to see your individuality and understand it's not always going to work in certain places. But things are happening for you. There's opportunities that can come your way this month if you allow yourself to be yourself, for sure, but not bring in those old ways anymore. That's where you need to check yourself first. And you do that. But then knowing what you need is the next step, right? Do that. Respond the way that you need to. And maybe you need to be softer with yourself right now. And maybe those boundaries have been put up somewhere else, and the Venusian signs aren't having it anymore. They're like, we know you've been overcompensating with our stuff and you've been wanting. No. Listen, we understand the minor details and the fine things and the fine tuning it takes to be luscious, to have that even if it's not a luxury brand, even if something's not expensive, we make it look that way. We make it feel that way. You do that. Not anybody else. You do that. It's okay to do things very well and to be all the things and also look the part. It's not your fault that you trigger people by being yourself. It's when you rub it in. No rubbing it in. That's what I meant to say earlier. Don't rub it in. There's no need for that. An Empress knows who the fuck she is. So know who the fuck you are and stop pretending that you don't and like you need to be on this level with other people and you're not. So do what you do and walk away. That's what Leos can help teach you. Let's be real. Something's going to come in possibly by the end of the month, and you'll be grateful because you set the foundation. We had this conversation and change is happening. That's a beautiful part. And for those of you that are falling in love, it's a great time to do so. It actually becomes stronger during this time. But again, not letting that consume the parts of you that you need and the energy you need for other things and other places in your life, including yourself. Again, nothing is more important than yourself anymore. And those people that know you, the people who really love you will understand that. Those are the people. I don't know who I am anymore. You know who you are, you see yourself, you take accountability. You're going to have to take accountability for things moving forward. But here's the beautiful thing. You want to move forward. For those of you who this is all crumbling down on, or if you're in the situation now and you're like, fuck, I already kind of fucked it up. You didn't. It's just, is this coming from fear? Or is it coming from grounded love? Because the love looks different for everybody, and you know that. But all these beautiful things are happening for you now. And the only way to share that is by being yourself and showing that other people, like by being you, that it's attainable. Just no rubbing it in, no doing things that are like out of your control or trying to force things out of your control, because karma's taking its course. Let karma take its course. You, better than anyone, love to sit back, and right now you're just reactive. So you have to be careful. You better than anyone like to sit back and watch karma unfold. Let karma unfold for you too. For you too. Let it unfold. Know that what you've done. And let yourself just do that. You'll get what you need. You'll get the acknowledgement that you need. You'll get all of these things by what happens and by what you attract and the opportunities that come along your way. You don't need to push. You don't need to force right now. It's happening. I know there's a lot more going on, but what you can bring right now, especially in terms of the darkness in a spiritual way, is a sense of, don't let it be false security. Don't let it be letting yourself fall back. If some of you, and we'll get into this in the second part, because this is, just, it may be uncomfortable or hard, but let it be uncomfortable and hard. Let yourself feel and understand that you don't carry everything. You can't carry everything. You need to have reliable, trusting sources with you. You need to have support. It doesn't mean you're less than. It doesn't mean, and you know all these things now, but I'm just kind of repeating them to you because it just seems necessary. Okay? The strength is coming from within you now. The compassion, the action, the celebration, just like the good life, the feeling, the luck, it's all real and it's all happening. And this month may not be the month to speak about it, but it'll need to be spoken about. Not a lot of words here. It's more about movements and adjustments and noticing nuances. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. And let's get to the second part. So the second part will be on a Patreon link below. Again, Libra, let karma work for you. Very uncomfortable, real reading. This reading and the Cancer reading could be helpful. And all information to work with me is below. I love you, and I'll see you next month.